Most businesses do not fail because the idea is bad. They fail because the business owners are applying different strategies than what is appropriate for their stage in business. They may be doing great ideas, applying great strategies, they're just applying it at the wrong time. Ephesians tells us there's a time and season for everything. And just as the way you would nurse a seedling plant is not the same as the way you would take care or maintain a mature apple tree, it's the same in business. In each stage of business, there are certain critical things you must do. I want to talk about that in this video because I'm telling you, I've seen so many businesses fail because of mismanagement. And I have to put that in quotes because we throw it under mismanagement. But what's really happening many of the times is that the wrong strategies are deployed in the wrong stage of business. Let's jump into business stages. I put them in like 5 different stages. We're gonna talk about the different stages, what's happening at each stage, what you need to do about it. Let's jump right in. Stage number 1. This is all an acronym. I actually use the acronym STAGE to make it easy to remember. Is the seed stage. What is that? That's your idea stage. That's where you have your thought process, what this big grand idea is, what this business idea is, what your vision is, what your dream is. That's what this is. What do you feel called to do, or what are you good at and you want to build a business around it? Like, that is the seed stage. Just understanding what the vision is, what the idea is, and what problem it solves. Because if it's not solving a problem, you're not going to really be able to sell it, okay? People want to solve their problems. I mean, that's why people go shopping at Walmart. That's why people buy certain things, because they're solving some sort of problem. One could say, well, what problem are they solving when they're buying some really expensive bag? They're solving the problem of trying to be on a certain status, or they're solving the problem of being able to go into certain rooms and fit in. So many different problems with that. Believe it or not, everything that people buy, they're solving some sort of problem. The seed stage, that's what it is. You need to know what it is and what you're solving. All right. And to help us go through these different stages, I really want to talk about the story of Joseph, because I think that it really helps to depict these different stages, and you'll see what I mean. Remember in Joseph's story where he was a young man and he was telling his brothers and his family the dreams he was getting from God, how the sheaves were bowing down to his sheaf and how the stars were bowing down to his, and the moon and the sun and the stars, all that. He had these dreams from God. That was his seed. Yes, it was a depiction of what was going to come. However, he didn't know how it was going to be. God didn't reveal all that part to him yet. So this was the seed stage, the dreaming stage. After you go through the seed stage, then you go to stage number 2, is the testing stage. That's right, test and trade, if you will. Well, what do you mean by that? Well, when you test something in the market, you're making sure that there's a good market fit for what you are offering. Does the market want it? Do we want to buy it? Who wants to buy it if someone does want to buy it? You have to actually test those things. And what are you really testing? You're testing to make sure that your messaging calls the right people into what you are doing. Whether it's a service or a product, you want to make sure that there are people out there, there's an audience out there, clients out there, there are customers out there that actually want to buy what you have. Everybody wants my stuff. I think most people are like, everybody needs what I have. That may be true to an extent, everyone needs a toothbrush, or everyone needs soap. But the idea is, many of the time, you really need to figure out who is your ideal person, okay? You'll end up getting everybody else that needs to come, that trickles in. So what do I mean? Pretend you're in a large room. You're in a very, very large room. It's crowded. It's crowded in that room. If you stand on the stage and you're like, excuse me, everybody, be quiet, please. No one's gonna pay you any mind, okay? Everyone's talking, you just added to the atmospheric sound of noise. However, if you scream out, Sarah, anyone in that room that's named Sarah is gonna turn, because they're gonna be like, who's calling my name and why? And then you know what's crazier everybody else in the room is gonna turn as well because they wanna know who called Sara and why. So it's important to find your Saras, okay? And that's what you're testing. Who are your Saras? What's going on? Like, you're testing it out in the market. And remember, when you get feedback, that's great. If there are no Saras raising their hand, change your message. This is literally what a lot of people call proof of concept. And this area is what people normally skip. They do. What do you mean they skip it? Well, they're like, oh, it's a great idea. And then they jump right into trying to build out their systems and how they're gonna test it first, okay? Sell it, then build it. I always tell my clients, just sell it, then build it, all right? Now, what's amazing about stage 1 and stage 2 is you wanna do that quickly. So if you have an idea, test it right away. Don't waste time on it. Don't start getting married to it. Don't love on it. It's probably gonna morph. It's probably gonna change. It's probably gonna be tweaked because as you test it, you find out ways that you have to tweak it, you have to change it, you have to test it to make it better for who you're trying to serve. All right? So don't get married to it yet. Just do stage 1 and stage 2 as many times as you need to in order to make sure that it's a viable market fit. And what's really amazing is for when you're testing it and you're selling it before you build it, the monies that you make from selling it, you're now able to hire your first hire, and that will move you on into stage 3. What's your first hire? Some sort of executive assistant, right-hand person, because you know it's viable. The monies you take, you go ahead and hire that person, and guess what they're gonna help you do? You and them and your mentor, you need a mentor. I'm here for you right now on YouTube, but you probably wanna join my community so I can really get my hands into what's going on in your business and help you out, okay? So pretty much, you hire that person, and that person is gonna help you build out your systems. That is stage 3, align and automate, which is building out your systems. Whatever you can automate, please automate. Do not do it yourself. Please automate and make sure no one else does it that's on your team, all right? Build out your systems. Now, I told you how Joseph started with his dream, okay? And then you said, but where did he test anything? He tested it when he when he was a slave for Potiphar. When he was a slave for Potiphar, he literally had to make sure that what he was offering Potiphar worked for Potiphar. So he was testing everything. He had to learn the language. He had to learn the social norms. He had to learn business acumen. He had to understand how the culture was. He was in a foreign land. He had to test everything to the point where he tested it so well that when it hit, Potiphar was like, I'm gonna trust him with everything. The Bible says that Joseph was prosperous as a slave. That's interesting, okay? So that was stage 2 for Joseph. Now let's go on to stage 3, where he was building out systems. What do you mean building out systems? Well, he took what he knew working for Potiphar, and when it was time for him to go and help Pharaoh, he built out systems. So Joseph landed a 14-year project. 7 years of plenty, 7 years of famine, and he had to make sure that the nation of Egypt was able to survive all 14 years. So what did he do? He built out systems, okay? He made sure he built out his teams. He made sure that his system would be stable, automating, and all the things. So that is what stage 3 is all about. So many people, because they skip stage 2 and they start building systems, now they're like, oh, we need to grow. Okay, first of all, make sure that your systems work. Make sure that your systems can handle what you're projecting will come. I just remember some clients of mine, they're ready to put some money behind, getting way more leads and way more clients. If they looked at their systems, they'd recognize they can't manage all the clients that they're going after. When you were testing out what you were testing out in stage 2, you probably were handling 1 to 5 clients or 1 to 5 customers just to test, just to make sure people liked it. You want to ensure that you don't move so fast that you crumble. So you want to build out proper systems. And that's why the testing stage is so important, because that's where you're getting the monies from in order to be able to hire who you need to hire, as well as build out the systems you need to build out. Okay, this is the stage that everyone loves. This is the stage that we call the growth stage, or some people think of it as scaling. Now you have your systems, and it's like, bring in the clients. Fill up the bucket. Bring them in, we can handle it. You need to know how you're going to grow. You need to know how you're going to manage. You need to know all of these things. And you got to make sure you have your blueprint for scaling, your blueprint for growth. Because now that you have all your systems in place, it's time to bring in the new people, and it's time to understand your expansion model. For Joseph's sake, when it came down time for the famine to start and he was feeding Egypt, guess what else? He started to feed the entire world. It actually said the world came to Egypt and Joseph fed the world. So what did he do? He had a whole international supply chain system going on, and he had systems in place, and he had nations coming to him. It was like this global thing because he understood that he had his systems in place, but he also had his methods for how that expansion model was going to be. You need to know what that's going to be. And then the last stage, just for your understanding, and then we'll go back and go through each stage and explain exactly what you need to do at each stage, all right? So I want you to continue to watch. I don't want you saying, okay, yeah, I know these stages, and then, again, you're applying the wrong thing to the wrong time, okay? But stage 5, E, exit or expansion. This is where you are either trying to sell your company or sell part of your company or expand out way outside of you, one or the next. And why is this so important? So many times when people start businesses, they believe it's just going to be their mom and pop shop type business for forever, for the rest of their life. And then their child is going to want to come and take the business over. It doesn't happen that way sometimes. Sometimes our children do not want to take over the family business. Sometimes they don't want to do what we are saying is a great idea to do. They have their own dreams. They feel like they have their own calling. You gotta have a plan in place so that the business doesn't just die. Like the statistic for business failures at year 10 is like 90%. Why? Because of burnout, because sometimes they just let the business die because there's no one to hand it down to. They didn't build the business in a way that it could be sellable. It's important to think of these things and know all the stages. So we have seed, testing, automation, which is building out your systems, growth, which is scaling, and exit and expansion. Those are the stages. Now, I'm sorry. You want to know how, Joseph exited per se. Well, you have to understand that the systems that Joseph put in place, his legacy went way beyond after he passed away for the nation of Egypt. The taxation laws that he put in place, the cities he built out for people to move in, the land that was acquired by Pharaoh through the trading process, the treaties that were set up because of the nations that came together, all of that long surpassed him after he passed. Just wanted to put that in there. Here's the part you really came here for. How does this apply to you? So for me to help you understand how this applies to you, you know me, I love a good case study. There was a woman named Sara Blakely, and she created Spanx. Do you know about Spanx? I want to jump right into it, and I want to show you the different stages that she went through with Spanx. So here we come. Stage 1 for her. Ready? She pretty much was like, look, she was wearing like pantyhose underneath her pants, trying to smooth out any lines, trying to make sure the silhouette was great. She was like, there's got to be a better way. And then one day she decided to cut off the feet. There it was. Spanx was born. So she cut off the feet of her pantyhose and she was wearing it. Now, what's amazing is she jumped to stage 2, where she literally was wearing it everywhere, asking people's opinion. How do you like it? How does it feel? Asking people, what does it look like? Testing this same concept out on friends, on family, on people, change some of the ideas, tweak, understand the feedback loop was important, but she literally made sure she went from stages 1 to stage 2. Let's talk about the practical takeaways for you, what you should be doing at stage 1. All right? Like, how do you know your idea is developed enough? Because when you think of a seed, I just want you to think about this. Inside of a seed, every component for that seed to become whatever it is in that seed. So if it's an apple tree seed, every component that's going to make whatever grows into an apple tree is found in that seed. So it's very important that your ideas are well planned out. So I want you to look at these 4 things when you're planning out your idea. You ready? Write down your vision and the problem it solves. I know it seems simple, but some of you are trying to solve world hunger with like a special spoon. You have to understand what is the actual problem you're solving. Stay out of generalities. Literally go into specifics. What are you solving? Spanx, they were solving all these random lines and different things. Women don't like to, look that way in their clothes. What is the problem you're solving? Just choose one. It doesn't have to be 1,000 things. Choose one. Number 2, don't overshare. Validate as privately as you can. Why? Why do you want me to do that, Kwana? Well, I don't know if you know of a thing called discouragement, okay? You start telling people about your grandiose idea, and just like Joseph's brothers, they're like, we don't like you anymore. Or they feel some type of way, they feel threatened. Or they care about you so much, they don't want you to get hurt. I don't know if that's a great idea. I don't need that. Or maybe they overinflate. Oh, that would be a great idea, honey. And then they're not really giving you great feedback, so you can't even tweak it and make it the best for whatever reason. Many times when you overshare, ideas die before they can even take off. So you got to be very strategic with your sharing, okay? Don't overshare. Get your business legally formed. Just get an LLC. You can go online. It's pretty free to just go ahead and get your LLC and just start a business. And what if you're like, oh, well, Kawana, what if I don't actually run my business till years later? Maintain it, because guess what? You can always go back and say, my business has been in business for 4 years, 5 years, and then you start using it. Because there's certain deals, like certain certifications, things that you can get when your business has been in business or registered for a certain amount of years. So at least just go get it registered, all right? Know your why. What do you mean know your why? Know why you're doing this, because it's gonna get tough. It may be simple, but it doesn't mean that it's easy, all right? And when things get tough, your why is what's going to propel you. Well, what could be so tough? Like if you're in a startup phase and you're like, what could be so tough? It's a great idea, I enjoy it, it's fine. Let me tell you, running a business, it literally builds strong character. And in order for you to build strong character, you're gonna have to go through some fires. I want you to know your why. So if you have those 4 things, you're ready to go to stage 2, which is test. Test it all, okay? I want you to understand the takeaways for testing, and I put 4 of them. Are you ready for it? Sell the version you can afford right now. What do I mean? If you're selling a consulting program and you can only solve this issue, don't try to solve all of the issues one time. Sell this one portion first. It will get you going for the rest. Do you understand what I mean? Like, sell the version you have right now. Like, it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be the best of the best. It can even be a beta program, and you can let people know that. But just sell the version you have right now. If it's a specialty pen, sell the version you have right now. Don't throw so much money at it and so much everything at it, and then it flops, and then you wasted all those resources. Just sell the version you have. It's gonna be fine. 2, use feedback as a fuel. Don't think of it as failure. So if things are not working out, hey, it didn't cost you too much, right? If you sell the version that you have and you just test, you're in a testing space. It's okay. Every time there's a no, that's feedback. Why is it a no? Figure out what's going on so that you can tweak and throw it back out there again. Let me tell you, you don't wanna make 1,000 units of a t-shirt that won't sell. Test it first. See if 5 will sell. See if 10 will sell. See what type of people are buying it. All right. Track every dollar. Cash flow at this part of the game is so important. What do I mean? Well, you got to understand, like if you test it and things are working well, you want to take that same money. Remember, we said in stage 3, you're going to be hiring someone. So you want to make sure that you're tracking all your cash and you're making sure that things are profitable for you. Because a lot of people are like, I sold it, it's selling, it's great. And they don't recognize that they don't have much profit margin. They're not calculating what the costs are versus how much money they're bringing in. So they don't even see. You have to track every dollar. I think I have a video that I spoke about, talking about cash flow, that maybe this is a good time to watch, okay? Like after this video, go watch that video. And then 4, stay humble. Remember, your character is being shaped. Don't be offended if people are like, no, thank you, I think it's a trashy idea. Don't be offended. Because one person's trash is another person's treasure, okay? Your idea, just iterated, you can get better and better at tweaking it and making it more solid, and it will be fine. It's building your character. Remember, before you can become that millionaire that has a lot of money, you actually have to become that millionaire. You have to become the person that can own and run $1 million business. You have to. Someone who isn't that person won't be able to manage it. And if you were to receive $1 million, you'd probably lose all of it. So you gotta make sure that you have become that person. And you can only become that person by doing. Remember, stay humble. Stage number 3. This is where you're automating and you're aligning everything, your systems, and you're putting it all in place, right? Remember that? Okay, so what's crazy is Sara Blakely, all right, after she did her stage number 2, which is testing it out on everyone, when she was building out her systems, guess what happened? Oprah endorsed Spanx. Let me tell you, talk about what? Because you know, when Oprah says anything, then all of a sudden it's flying off the shelves. And that's exactly what happened to Sara. But she was ready because she had her systems in place. Do you see why it's so important to have your systems in place? Because if the system was not in place, and then she went in front of Oprah and Oprah is endorsing things, people would be like, where's my Spanx? I don't see it. How come I didn't get it? How come I didn't receive it? It would have been a nightmare, okay? She had her systems in place, and she didn't go to rush and hire 100 people because she made sure she kept it lean. She focused on improving delivery, packaging, all of the things, branding, right? She made sure she took care of all of that. She was focused on stability of the company, not necessarily scaling the company, making sure that all her customers were taken care of, right? In this stage of the game, there are 4 things I want you to put in place at this part, which is 1, start writing your SOPs. Your standard operating procedures. That's what you need to start writing. And if you're struggling with how to document those, we have some resources in my community. The link will be somewhere in the description box or somewhere like that. But you need to start documenting your SOPs. We have resources on how to do that in my community. Number 2, remember, we're hiring your right-hand person, your executive assistant, if you will. You're a paralegal if you're a lawyer. You're a nurse if you're a doctor. Your right-hand person. Okay, you are hiring that person at this stage in the game because you're gonna need that help. Otherwise, it's called burnout. Number 3, get your back end in order. So when you're building out the systems and now customers are starting to come in, you might have overlooked some things unless you're in my program and I'm able to show you a model that kind of shows you how to kind of know what's coming ahead before it happens or whatever the case may be. You can kind of foresee the bottlenecks before they happen. It's so good. But for the most part, many times, okay, because naturally we're very reactionary, we're not quite sure what's going to happen. Many times you might notice that as you're building out your systems, you may have to tweak them as you're doing the thing. Don't be disheartened. All I need you to do is know that you need your back end to be in order. So that's going to be where the work comes in. That's why you always need a team and you need systems in place so that people can help you with all of that. 4, remember, choose your system over speed. I know you want to get to your $1 million in 2 days. However, we want to make sure that your systems are in place before the millions start rolling in, huh? That way you preserve your name, your brand name. That way people only have great things to say about you. We want to make sure those things are taken care of in this stage of the game. Let's jump over to stage 4, grow with others. You're probably going to be delegating a lot more at this point. You're going to have more than just an executive assistant, and you're going to have to understand how you're going to expand, right? So with Sara Blakely, what she did was she started to expand in retail stores, and then she negotiated deals. She came up with new product lines. She became like a family name, a household name. She built a brand, not just a product. Like people just knew what Spanx was. Why? Because she was in the growth phase of her business. This is the part that everybody wants to run to. And many of the strategies that people put in place really belong to this stage, not the beginning stages. So for instance, when I had a client that wanted to hire a marketing firm when they were at stage 1, not the best idea, okay? Stage 4 for scale makes sense. Makes sense because you're building a brand. You're doing your thing. But stage 1, when you still need to have proof of concept, not the greatest idea. Bad use of resources. And you're going to need those resources to hire people to be able to handle. So when you have someone really pushing you, the idea is I want to make sure you know what to do now at this growth stage. There are 4 things. 1, delegate the outcomes, not just tasks. If you're the one giving tasks to everyone, you're going to be micromanaging, you're going to be burnt out, and your company is not going to be able to run on its own, and you work on the business. You're going to be being run by the company. It's going to be a hot mess. So we need to delegate the outcomes. This is where I want this to go. These are the projections. This is where I want you to take me. And then your management team takes you there. Build your brand beyond your face. What do I mean by that? People are, the face of their company. But the truth of the matter is, if you're a service-based business, you don't want everyone thinking they have to come to you. Because if the business can't grow outside of you, it's going to be stuck and it's going to stop growing. It needs to grow beyond you. Think about Apple and the CEOs that came through Apple. Even when one passed, it can still run, That's what you want. You're building legacy here. It may start with you, but always have that plan that it must grow beyond you. All right? Number 3, automate what you repeat. Always go through and do a quick audit of the systems in your company. If there are still manual things that really should be automated, let's stop doing that. You can't scale that way. All right? Clarify your growth model. Are you going to franchise? Are you licensing? Are you going into retail stores like Sara Blakely? Like, what is your expansion plan? Always have that ready. Know what you're trying to do there. That way, when the opportunity comes, you can execute. And then, of course, stage 5, expansion or exit. Let me tell you what Sara Blakely did. Sara Blakely was able to sell the majority share, not all of it, but the majority share of Spanx. Forget this. $1.2 billion. You heard me right. That was a cute penny, okay? When she sold for $1.2 billion, she was able to sit back and do another passion of hers, which was empower women globally. The idea, this is why I say don't get married to everything. You might want to sell part of it. You want to take those resources and be able to do another calling that God has put on your life, okay? Or outreach or something that you want to do. Can't do that if you didn't build an asset that can scale and grow. If you didn't build with these 5 stages in mind. This is what we mean. So for this stage, here are 4 things that I want you to remember to do. Document everything like you're preparing to sell. Even if you're not. Even if you're going to pass it down to your children. Your children may want to sell later. Document everything like you're planning to sell. Prepare for selling, even if you plan to keep it. Because that's when you know your business is ready for anything. Consider equity models or licensing deals or partnerships. That might be a good way to exit, especially if you have a partnership and someone else is kind of running the thing, so it frees you up to do a little bit more, but you can still collect some in your pocket. Yeah, you never know. There's so many ways that this could be arranged. Build a leadership team that can run without you. Now, if you did things right and you hired your management first, the idea is you want to continue to develop them as the company grows. There are times where you may have to do some replacements, and not everybody that's a starter is also like a finisher, or not everyone that's a starter can continue through the growth phase of the company. There's some people that are just great with starting, and then there's some people that are just excellent with running it when it's big. Many times people can develop into that as well. You want to know what is what, but make sure you have a leadership team that can run the company outside of you. Very necessary if you're gonna grow. Start asking, what am I gonna do in my life after this is over? Because guess what? You'll have more free time. Okay, so that is the idea, and that's the exit expansion side of things. All right, so those are the 5 stages of business. Seed stage, the testing stage, the automate and align stage, which is your systems, the growth stage, which is your scaling time, and your exit and expansion stage. The 5 stages of business, all right? I made it into a cute little acronym so it's easy to remember. Stage. I do not want you to misapply certain strategies to the wrong time of your business. That causes a lot of businesses to fail, and we are here to annihilate the small business failure rate. You got to work with me now. So if there's any more information you may need to help you with these stages, join us in the community. We're glad to help you there. I want to know in the comments what stage of business you are in. Tell me, and then tell me based on this video or what you believe, tell me this is the stage I'm in and this is what I plan to do in that stage. These are my next steps. I want to see them because if I see any issue with them, I'd like to respond and help you along the way because I want to make sure that you're doing the right thing at the right stage at the right time. All right? And if I notice there's some stuff that are backwards, I may invite you to, I don't know, get on a call or something with me, get that fixed up. We got to make sure that you're doing the right thing at the right time. Remember, Ephesians says there's a time and a place for everything. You can't be putting mature apple tree strategies to an apple tree seedling. Just doesn't work. Until next time, remember, stage, seed, test, automate and align, growth, and then exit and expansion. And I will see you in the next video. You have a good one.